Hello everyone, it's Zoras. So here we are today for a little unannounced stream. We'll see how it goes. I'll play some Arena. The new season just started out. Sorry for the alarm, it's my tea, which is ready. Some fuel for the game. Yeah, so... Alright, let me show you my browser. Here we go. So as you see, I'm on the queue for Arena here, still waiting for 2 players. So, might show you the standing for last season. I don't think we have it. Well, anyway, I ended up hanging on for winning the section. Actually, yeah, just a minute, I'll post the link. Here we go. So yeah, actually I had a comfortable advance at the end of the season, which was a bit of luck really. I mean, as I said last time, I think the season last time was really close all season, and in the end, I mean, it's a picture at one point in time, not necessarily being representative of the competition, but I think it should have been a lot closer. Still, very happy with winning the Season 0 of Terra Mystica, and now we'll jump in for Season 2. So there's some change in this season. First of all, they added at least a new league. I don't know, maybe there's another one, but there's at least a gold league that there wasn't there anymore. So everyone who got to the Elite League got relegated to Silver League, and some people have won enough already in order to climb up in the standing. So, yeah. As you see, Halik, Jesseg, and Topstar all arrived here in the Elite League. Personally, I'm a bit lower, just an 11th here. I've played 3 games, up to now 2 wins, and this morning I played a game in which I finished 3rd. Actually, I think the game which was the most interesting was by far the game in which I was 3rd this morning. It was with a good opposition, so Ice Bar and CCS. If we wait too long in the queue, maybe I'll show you a little of this game. I tried again the 3 TP Nomad opening. I had a lot of success with that, and I wanted to see how good it is, test how good it is. And I think it was really close to work out, actually. But what happened is that Angie, well, Darkling started all east. Let me see if I can get aboard. Oh, here we are. So we got a table. We are with one player that I recognize, Joey, as a very good player. So, and we're picking first. Alright, what do we have here? As I said, I find that uncovering a setup in Terra Mystica is always very exciting. So we'll see how it goes here. Anything that jumped to mind in this setup? Well, several things. You see, there's often the most important event will be the last round even. That's often all you can, or the last 2 rounds at least. That's often where you score your points, mainly. So this is a dwelling event. You might be interested in the faction that can exploit that. So I've seen a message here. You seem to have trouble seeing my wait a minute. Yeah, you don't see it well, huh? What can I do for that? I have no idea why it is. If I do something like that. Any better now? I think it should be better. Yeah, so as I was saying, there's Dwelling last round. TP in round 1, usually not very defining, but reason why I'm pointing it is that one of the faction that is good for last round is Swarmling, for Dwelling last round is Swarmling, and TP first round is good for them too, so that's one thing I'm considering right now. Swarmling will benefit from the third round town scoring. I'm kind of tempted to go with them. The only thing that's bad for them is that there's not the TP bonus, which is really good for them. So do you see it well there? Yeah, it seems to be better. Alright. Otherwise, nothing very defining cult-wise. I mean, there's a couple of spades. Spades are usually very good events. Swarmling will maybe be able to exploit the workers here. Workers on the track are usually really good for them. So yeah, let's go with Swarmling and we'll see how it goes. Right, so one of this change there is this season is that they have added landscape. I'll just make sure everyone knows that I'm streaming. I don't want to be impolite here. I had the talk the other day with Lumen, who was streaming also. He's streaming Terra Mystica, but mainly I think he's streaming Agricola. He's a really, really good player of Agricola. You can check his channel if you have time. It's good stuff. And he felt that it was unethical to stream without getting the permission of everyone. I think I'm a bit more relaxed with that. I mean, if you look at RTS game, I mean, people never ask if opponents want to stream. If you look at like games such as Hearthstone or Magic, people will stream all the time without asking. So I don't think we have to be too stiff. We're not used to it in Terra Mystica and in board games in general, but I think that once we get used to it, it won't be an issue anymore. Well, okay, so yeah, I was saying what is new this season is the presence of landscape, and it will be interesting to see how it will change the game. So landscape is kind of a mini expansion they added. It's nowhere near as defining as the expansion, like Fire and Ice expansion. It's much more minor, but still makes interesting changes. So I'll be just talking maybe about the faction that we will have here. Chaos Magician is one of the worst landscape that there is. I think it's not a good design, honestly. So it requires to have the stronghold, and once you have the stronghold, you get this chaos portal that you can put on any red hex in the map. The problem is that late in the game, when you have a lot of shipping, it's not very useful because you want to build dwellings on these hex anyway. And early in the game, you never want to build a stronghold as Chaos Magician, and it's not enough advantage, you know, to decide to build it. So usually I would say it's one of the worst landscape that there is, and Chaos Magician was not such a strong faction to start with, So I think it's a bit unfortunate, and I think their value is still lower now. Swarmling's landscape is much more powerful. Is it interesting? That's another question. I know, like CS, who I see in the chat here, hate this landscape, and sometimes I'm close to share his feeling. Not because it's impotent, quite the opposite. I mean, it's really strong, but it encourages Swarmlings to play in a very bulky way. So how it works, you need a sanctuary to build it. Once you have the sanctuary, interesting. So once you have the sanctuary, you can put the landscape, and the landscape allows you to form many time with the same amount of like, as long as you get 7 power worth of structure, you can build more town in the same structure. So you can have like a huge area full of structures and use it to build many town, which encouraged Swarmling to kind of play a really bulky game. Here, Oran Landscape, which I haven't talked, gives you points when you reach the top of any cult. So 5 points for each cult that you reach top. So you can encourage them to go even more on cult. Oran might be an interesting pick here because of how the faction will mix. I think Swarmling is pretty good. Chaos Magician a bit hard when Nomads are in, and Nomads should be fine. Yeah, let's see. Let's check. Well, so I talked to you about this website last time. I know that it seems to have interested a couple of people who wrote to me. So it's referred to the Snell tournament, and it's a way to see how faction fare against one another. I'm not sure we'll have much data here because it's not a very common matchup, but we can check. And this is played without landscape, so it's not exactly the same. Alright, so my turn. Let's go Swarmling again. And we have Nomads. So Nomads, Swarmlings, two good choices. I expect Chaos Magician maybe to have a harder time. And Oran, well, it's Oran. We'll see how they can do. So there's more data than I expected for this. Maybe like narrow it down a little. Yeah, so Oran comes last after this. With these faction, I kind of expect that the play will be mainly in the main area. We'll see. I mean, Oran may start a dwelling east, but he won't have much company unless Chaos start there too. We'll have to see. So, yeah. I personally don't like Chaos Magician when Nomads are in. I think it can be really, really hard to play them. I think one thing to notice in the setup too is the fact that it's 3 strongly cult-oriented faction, meaning that cult will be very competitive. Meaning that might not worth that much investing in cults, or it might be interesting to pick Nomad in order to play a more economic game. Alright. with swarmling, yeah, thank you, man. So with swarmling in the game, and Oren, I expect swarmlings to start west a little more, and probably Oren will develop more on the center and maybe a little on the east. So with Chaos Magician, you'll have like choice to start either on the center hex or maybe on this hex. I keep looking at the chat. Some stuff is going on there. So this guy seems to be really aggro for some reason. I don't know. What is his deal? He's angry that someone picked Aura and he's angry that I'm streaming. Let's not worry about that. So yeah, faction choice. Anyway, all right. So question here, I pretty much have Nomads. We picked Nomads before, so I'm still not sure. Yeah, so asking for the streams. Just a second. There you go. I'm kind of leaning more toward swarming here, but there's definitely argument to be made about nomads, and Oren is an interesting pick too. So probably Chaos goes center, and with this first move he digs this hex. That's probably what happens. Although, yeah, I probably still should do that. Because probably there's a Nomad dwelling here. Which will block his way, but it can still temple up using this hex. So at what point should we go in? Also, some people are betting for Chaos Magician. I see. Let's see. Oh, got Nomad. Yeah. Yeah, it will be interesting. So Jake, who was didn't like the orange choice, ended up being the one who picked him. It's auction. I mean, we can pick anything we want. Yeah, yeah, exactly. History. I it's as I said, it's three strong faction, so you can expect them to go hard on cults. Nomads here. We are going to hope we can win one cult, and that will be enough for us. Um, and maybe we don't win any at all. Yeah, yeah. Well, again, we'll be more the economic faction here. So, wondering where Chaos Magician will go in this. As I said, I think if I was him, I would go center. Right. So we get place 2. Those are the obvious spot where we go. And then I'm pretty sure, well, yeah, sure the other dwelling goes there. Good leeching spot. RN will develop this way, probably Chaos too. It's also kind of such an important square, such an important hex for Chaos that I think it's worth taking at the start. It's a bit like we had this configuration last time, a Nomad and Chaos Magician, and we use the same strategy with some success. So that will be the plan. Now, I have again Nomad in a situation where it's a TP round 1. We'll have to give some consideration to the possibility of the TP opening, because it's becoming the brand of the channel. Let's see what our Swarmling do here. With RN going on the East Island, he might be very tempted. Yeah, he go in the center. I think that's the right move. Alright. So I like to try to maximize Leech early on. Therefore, I think the spot is good for that. I mean, the Grey Hex will be taken very soon, so it will allow us to leech from that. Alright, so Chaos start at center. Go with the spade. There was some argument to go with the stronghold opening, but having the spade, still being able to pick the dwelling favor, I think is very good. Yeah, 3TP opening. I know. It's becoming the brand of the channel. But 3TP opening is less good without the TP bonus. You won't score on that. Right. So Swarmling go for the leech spot here. It's a good decision. Obviously. Now, kind of tempted to use the spade straight up and go there, because it's a lot of leech again. Yeah, we can even go for this spade. So I'm surprised that neither Chaos Magician nor Oren went for the Grey Hex. I think it will have been an interesting move. It's such a key square for both of them. Well, especially for Chaos. If Chaos loses this, we'll have a hard time. One of the questions we have here is, where do we put our temple? Because where our temple will be will likely be where our sanctuary will be. And there is argument for both of these. I usually like to do it center because, again, leech, for the leeching reasons. Alright, so Chaos went for the spade. Which is interesting. As I said, this hex is very good for him, and now he's taking some option on this one. Swarmling will have difficulty to take it, so it's an interesting move, I think. So I think the plan, because of the round town in the third round, I think the plan here has to be to exploit the middle island as much as possible. That's where we get leech. And I think it's the best way to get down round 3. I say that sometimes. When I look at a setup, one of the first questions I always have in mind is, when will I be building my trading post? And of course, well, there's the possibility of doing it on a trading post round. But there's also the possibility of doing it on a town round. So probably we'll try to build 2 trading posts there. I think that will be our objective. So Swarmling is making a big move on the cult here. He's already will have 2 priests in there. However, he has a little problem with this development on the center and east side of the map. I suppose the second priest will go in fire. You probably will want to take advantage of the 2 fire cult income. I think that's what I will do. So yeah, as I said, the way I read this track, there's kind of natural order to build stuff. I think that's very important to understand if you want to improve your game in Terra Mystica. And for example, well, one of these orders, it's not the only one, but the simplest one is that you build dwelling, trading post, temple, and build in big building, sanctuary maybe, or stronghold, or you can go trading post straight into stronghold. So in this track you kind of have that here naturally built in this track, which means that's probably not a bad track for scoring. So like probably you build dwellings, you won't be able to build much because it's only around 2, but we'll have some dwelling down, and then we'll do trading post here. We'll use this town event to build trading post. Hopefully we can have a town, and then maybe we can get a temple on this round, which kind of is a natural way to build. One thing that I worry when I look at it this way is whether we'll have enough dwelling and enough worker income. So that's something to keep in mind. Ideally, I would really like... I definitely build... Well, you may wonder, like, do you build a dwelling here? Because its next turn is dwelling. So do you just terraform your hex into a yellow hex, and then use it next turn? And my take on this is, especially in round 1, but that's almost true for all game, you always want a worker income. I mean, resources are way too precious to sacrifice early for points. So yeah, we'll definitely build this one. Alright. So we did build a temple and 2 dwellings. It's a pretty good start, since we already had one standing. Now we'll have a 5 worker income. We'll see what bonus we get. Here's 2 possibilities. I like the worker and power because it might give us a spade, or we can go for the coins, which are always nice, and we will definitely need a lot of coins here. But I think that in this track we want to go for the power. So as I said, I'm kind of a little worried that we may end up being short of workers if we do too many trading posts early, as I intend to do. I intend to do 2 trading posts on round 3, if it's there. But for that we will need a good worker income, and we will need a lot of coins. So yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, worst case scenario, it's kind of more flexible too, because we can just take the 7 coin action here. So it kind of is similar to getting these coins, but with a worker more. Another possibility, if the double spade is there for us, we might want to double dig this one. It will make our town a lot easier, first of all, but also it will be able, it will let us build a sanctuary town maybe here, which is kind of uncertain, because for that we will need to build a temple here, and if we build trading posts here for the town, then it's harder to go to get the temple here. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that then. Alright, so Oran took the single spade, meaning, yeah, let's see what Chaos do. He might use Tree Worker to dig this. I think it will be an okay choice. So interesting that Jolie didn't turn it back to green. No, so he sent it there. Question now. If I take the double spade, I have to dig this black. Other choice will be to go for the coins. I'm kind of tempted to go for that. Maybe use Tree Worker to dig the red next turn. Yeah. So let's see. If I do that, I still have 2 workers. If I do a Tree Worker Terraformation, Tree Worker Terraformation are tricky. Often you will say never do them, but especially with highly economic faction like Nomad, you may want to do it. Here are C different reasons. It's a dwelling round. I think it's important to get some dwelling on the board. There's possibility that Swarmling will use this to temple up, so it will be more leech for us. And we still have 2 workers after that and a 6th worker in com. So that's 8 worker. That's exactly what we need for a sanctuary and 2 trading posts. So that's very, very tempting. But there's, is there any rush to do it? I'm the only one with a priest here, so yeah, I think I can just... Other option is to advance shipping and dig this one, and then we can build a bunch of dwelling. If we go that way, yeah, it's probably not a bad idea. We will probably not be able to make a town on round 3, but we will get a much better economy. I think I like that. So let's go for that. Advanced shipping, and we'll build 3 dwellings. So we end up sacrificing the town on round 3 in order to build 2 more dwellings this round, which means that we don't lose much. I mean, it's a dwelling turn, so we lose only 1 point if we don't do a town here, but we'll have a much better economy. Probably not a bad idea to take this hex sooner rather than later either. Chaos might be interested in that hex eventually, so, and being able to grab this one soon will be good too. Also, we get on the northern island before Swarmling does, meaning that if he probably will get here at some point, you won't have any idea of taking the brown. It's kind of, it can be a very disputed hex, so we got there first, and also when he builds here we'll leech from that, and that's good. You always want as much leech as possible early on. So we'll have a very strong worker economy in the end. As I said, it's kind of the only dwelling event before our last round, so it's really good to have a lot standing. Means that we'll be able to focus on other stuff during the other round. Build our economy. Try to find a source of coins. That will be one challenge. And yeah, so as Istari predicted, we're pretty much done here on the cult track. I don't expect us to win any cult now. The way sending that first priest on the cult track might have given us a chance against these factions, but now it's pretty much like giving up. Okay. Right. So we definitely want to build that dwelling. So Jolie decided to delay his temple, which probably is quite a fine idea. It's usually better to do it with the trading post bonus because then you can exploit it for not having a temple. But you can definitely now do a town next round, so I suppose that was the plan. Alright. Let's complete this kind of second round dwelling rush. We'll have option for passing. Passing for the spade will not be bad. Passing for the shipping bonus, well, I mean, that's 3 points, 3 power, 2 coin. Not bad either. And the cult is also interesting for the money. What we'll need here is clearly money. So all possible options. And even the priest, there's something to be said about the priest, because the priest will give us 2 coins as an income in round 4, and I suspect that will be very important. So, yeah, lots of options. If we still think about going for... That will be... Can we still think about going for a town here? That will be 12 coins. It's a lot. 6. We're really close. Yeah, I think we can. It will be really good. Okay. So to do that we need the cult bonus. That's what I'll go for. So we have the 8 workers and we have 6 coin plus 2 from power. We'll need to find a way to get a bunch of leech in order to be able to do that. We need to get basically 4 power. Now the reason why I'm confident we can do it is that we can send the priest on the cult, on the Earthraxy, and get 3 power from the cult with the cult action here. If we get 3 power from the cult, we'll have 5 power available to convert into coins, and that's it. I mean, we can burn 1 if really we need, and we can have our town. So it's turning out pretty good, and with these 2 trading posts and this bunch of dwellings, we'll have a very strong economy. I will be very surprised if we get the coin action, but of course if we get the coin action, that solves all our problem. That's what we want. but one way or another, it will work. I want to take water one. I usually don't like to take a second economic favor before round 4, but here we'll build 2 TPs and we'll have very strong economy. Nomad is naturally inclined to build a strong economy. So the idea is that you need to find scoring. That's often what they lack, or what they need to do is to find a way to score with that economy. That's why, contrary to, well, that's why I like to go with point scoring favor with them. Although there's other way to do it, but point favor are good. So alright, so the coins are gone. Aren't went for double spade. Don't think he has a town this turn anyway. Jolie will probably... I suppose Chaos will use the dig now. Maybe if Jolie wants a town, he'll have to worker dig it. What I'll do... So I want to make sure I get this cult income. So I'll send priests here. Note that there's no rush to take water 1 here, because Oren has no way to take it next turn. And since he doesn't have it, he has no way to take it. And therefore, because he has no temple or no trading post, so he cannot build either a sanctuary or temple. So, very cool. As you see, we've leached a lot. I was confident we could get the town, and we will. We'll do a sanctuary in the center here. It will be interesting to see that whether Chaos Magician leech from it. I think he should. It will be a big leech, but you want power early on. That's the drawback. I've built a temple here. I could have built it here to get maximum leech, but it's also meaning that you give others maximum leech. It's very interesting for everyone else here to leech from me. Right. So we go sanctuary. Water 1. And we have enough for 2 dwellings. 2 trading posts. So look at that, we didn't even need to use our cult action to get power on the cult. So it will be interesting to see what city Chaos Magician will end up taking. Now, I mean, he's building his bridge, so I clearly decided to build a city. I went with the priest. Oh! Yeah, I didn't realize he had taken fire too. Interesting. So we'll see what he intends to do with that. Maybe he decides to advance shipping and take our hex here. It will not be ideal. It will probably be a good move for him. If he wants to get out from here, that's probably what he has to do. So yeah. Jolie went for the tree worker terraformation. No surprise, towns are so good for swarmlings. That's what you want. I want it as early as possible. There will be the question of what town we take. Might be tempted to take Priest town. First, a lot of points. We've been really much into scoring this game. But also, again, I have my eyes on this even. It's very, like, the income. The temple building is not so important. You don't score much from temple, but the income from priest in the track is really, really important. The reason for that, so that's a simple move. The reason for that, here's like some advanced consideration on Terra Mystica. If you consider a little bit the economy of the game, you'll realize trading posts are not very good to build. They improve from 1 worker to 2 coins and 1 power income. It's not a big improvement. If you consider all buildings, it's actually the worst economic improvement that you get. It's almost not better than a dwelling. Therefore, usually the best economic strategy is to build a bunch of dwelling and look for other sources of coins in order to feed, to build your structures. So these coins often are on bonus. Sometimes there will be opportunity on the track, and one of the events that gives you this opportunity is temple event. And sometimes it will be through power, action, or conversion. Right? So, what Chaos did advance his shipping. Good move from him. Means that we are, if we temple up here, the advantage will be that we'll be the only player, and if we take, the priest, we'll be the only player with the priest, and we can use the 3 spots on water. I like that. I think that's what we'll go for. Right? So we'll have made a lot of points this turn. We'll have 6 points from trading post, 9 points from town, and 5 points from the town event. So that's 20 points. Very big round. And we've done so in somewhat like strengthening our cult position. So yeah, it's looking good. One of the problems that we probably will end up having here is how do we go for a 3rd town now that Chaos succeeded in beating us to the sacks. And maybe here, we'll see. Like, if Oren decides to go Sanctuary here, then it should not be a problem to town up here. But it's possible that Oren preferred to dig the Black Hex. In that case, Sanctuary is a lot harder. Towning up for us is a lot harder. So I think that now Chaos will beat us to this area. It might end up being hard to do a 3rd town. Here Jolie took the shipping. We'll see, probably he wants to build at least 1 dwelling here. So really terminating our hope for a town here. It will be just 2 dwellings that are there for leech and 4 income. Not bad. Alright, so the plan was to send a priest here. And what do we do with our cult bump? We can, so as I said, we have, that's what he did. He used the shipping town in order to come here. So cult bomb, either we go on one of the 2 central cults in order to get the power from going up 1, or we go in the fire in order to get the worker here. Honestly, well, yeah. Honestly, I don't have much hope in our cult performance, so I'll rather focus on cult income and climb on fire. It will be interesting to see what's swarming plans for here. We'll continue to develop. Probably. Question is like, would he want to develop this, or would he want to develop north? And I think that with Oren's pressure, there was more chance that he decides to develop north, which will be good because it will give us a bit more time here. Alright, so a couple of options here. We can pass for the 3 points or for the priest. The priest has 2 coin on it and will give us 2 coin on the track again. That's interesting. The stronghold bonus on the other hand gives us points and workers, which are both good, so tough call. Since I don't believe much in our cult game, I think I'm more leaning toward taking the stronghold bonus. I mean, there's something to be said to leave it there and hope we can catch it next round to make the most of the stronghold event. Alright, let's take the priest. Not sure it was a good idea, but we'll go for it. Now, I'm not sure I'll want. Not sure I'll want to build a temple here. There's definitely something to be said to try to rather go for TPs. I mean, TPs are 3 points with the TP's favor. The 2 last TPs of Nomads are really good economically speaking, and because they give more money. You see, 3 and 4 coin. So yeah. Alright, so you see Oren decided to dig this black X, meaning it's less and less likely that we'll go for 3 towns. I think it might be just a 2-town Nomad game. So why? Alright. I was wondering why Chaos Magician hurried to Temple, and it's because he wanted the trading post favor. was still there. So it'll be interesting to see how Joey do it here. He has different option, I think. He might, like, for example, dig the black and plan to do a temple here and a sanctuary here in order to have a town here, and hope to have a town there too. It will take a lot of resources. Maybe it's possible. Definitely one option for him. Maybe you'll want to just do a simple town here and then advance shipping and come to do another one. Maybe he will start thinking about building here, trying to kind of hinder my development, building his landscape at some point and trying to do 2 towns here. A lot of options. And I haven't even mentioned that he might do a town here and try to do a town simply north here. So all possible. Alright, so that's probably tells us something. He went here and here, so I suppose he plans to try to build his 2 towns here and here. Right, that's some power for us. How do we do this? I'll send the priest in fire. I always like the sound of that. Sounds a bit heretic. Oh, I was pretty sure people will answer, both Swarmlings and Chaos will answer Senderas in fire too. Now it means we have an opportunity to send our own priest. We'll have Silrune in fire to make, like, each of these priests that we're sending here worth 2 coins and 1 worker. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Right, Oren went with the 2 key town. I think it's a good choice. Oren, yeah, so his landscape, what it does is that every time you reach the top spot, the 10th spot on a call track, it gives him 5 victory point. So you want to go high on calls with Oren, with landscape, and the 2 key town is the best way to do it. Right, so Swarmling did send his priest in water as it should. In fires, right? So we'll do the same. You know, I think in hindsight, I kind of regret my choice. I should have gone with the stronghold bonus, and build a stronghold right away. Could maybe have made possible building a 3rd town. And with the stronghold bonus, it's not a big deal to build it in this round rather than in this one. So probably a mistake. Now we'll do a bunch of points. I don't know if we really need... I'm leaning more now toward building a trading post and a temple rather than 2 trading posts, because we'll get a ton of money from the cult track from this event. Anyway, I'm getting Air 1. Again, we've played a kind of Nomad that's looking for scoring. I think that getting Air 1 is good for that, to kind of maximize every scoring opportunity we have. So Air 1 speaking is not too popular yet. We still have time. So we'll go here. There's definitely something to be said to pass early. This bonus is worth a lot. Although a temple air with Air 1 worth 7 points, and actually more than 7 points. So I think it's still worth building a temple. So if we build a temple, we build it here, not here, because that's where the stronghold will go. So yeah, the advantage also of not going 3 towns here, interesting point, is that rather than taking Fire 2, we'll take Air 1. We'll probably get close to 9 points from Air 1, so that's what the town worth. And it kind of makes up for not building a 3rd town. Will Julie use his spade here, or does he pass right away? I think this bonus is so good for him that he probably should pass. Although I really much understand the need to use the spade. If I was him, I think I will have a hard time to resist. It's really what Terra. Yeah, I think he made the right decision. I think it's really one feature that Terra Mystica is really about, is making choices, often difficult ones. Meaning that if you try to optimize everything, you're doing a mistake. you cannot optimize everything. You have to let go some things. And here I decided to let go spade in order to get 8 points from the bonus. Again, I think that was the right call. All right. Here we have an interesting dilemma. Do we try to pass for the shipping bonus, in which case we will have to delay as much as we can, maybe at least 1, maybe 2 moves. Or do we go for something more economic? I think I don't care going for economy. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we'll see how Chaos Magician play here, and Auron. Thing is, Auron doesn't have any shipping yet. He might get some, maybe. But if he's not fast enough, maybe we can steal that hex. And if we can, then the possibility of a third town is pretty much alive. But yeah, that's a very good question. Thanks, Sylvain. About the Nomad stronghold. I'm late, so if you look at Nomads, it seems that their special ability from their stronghold is really exciting. It helps you to dig like any hex you want. So many, like when you start playing the game, like when you're a beginner, the building you're excited about building is the stronghold. The thing is, when I play Nomad, it's a viable strategy. You can really well play Nomad with a stronghold early on, and it will be more of an economic game. The strategy here that I'm doing is a later stronghold. The reason for that is that you can easily access a lot of yellow hex without building it. So rather than building the stronghold early, you just try to dig every easy X first, and then you go for the stronghold late when you have harder dig to do. And that's what I'm doing here. So we do go stronghold. And as you see, Auron still hasn't any shipping. So maybe we can grab this hex with the stronghold. So yeah, the idea in building the stronghold later is that you use it only for digs that matter, and for smaller digs, one step terraformation, you can use normal digs. In that case, though, you might wonder, like, what's the interest of picking Nomad if you're not building the stronghold, or if you're building it really late? Well, building it late is not the same as not building it. We'll use it for some specific hexes. But also, just the fact that Nomads start with 3 dwellings, it doesn't seem like much, but the access it gives them to other hexes, the leech possibility, I mean, it will give them a lot of resources early on that they can use to expand fast. So just having 3 dwellings to start with is very, very powerful. So our input is landscape here. Note that he still doesn't have any shipping. Interesting. However, Chaos has 3 ships. It might be paranoia. I think it's really unlikely that Chaos will dig this hex, but just to be sure, I'll go for it. Oops. And that's probably a good spot to put our landscape on. Yeah, we'll just put landscape here. So Nomad landscape is not very useful. It gives you the opportunity, rather than leeching on an opponent build, to take 1 coin instead of leeching. Here, I've built it here, thinking that it will probably not be used. It's just a hex that I occupy, really, on that view. Right. Yeah. I don't know, maybe it has potential, but I haven't seen it. If you find a good way to exploit it, show me. I will be curious to see that. I mean, I think landscape open all kind of possibility for different faction that maybe we haven't really exploited well. Yeah, that's Danny's pointing out the main problem with this is if you have the worker to build a dwelling, you want the worker income. So there's not much reason to build it if you don't make any worker out of it. Right. So we're going to take... there are two there. It's a very surprising choice. Alright. So, what do we have left here? Before I forget, let's do the power conversion. We have like dig. What we want to do, and we want to do at least one trading post. Feel a bit secure if I can take this hex, honestly. Yeah, I think it's probably a lot safer to go here. Yeah, but about landscape, the Nomad landscape. And the landscape in general, I think many of them will force us to change the way we play. Not sure yet about Nomad's landscape. My impression from playing it is that it's mainly useless. But again, that's kind of what I feel first about the Dwarf landscape, and now I've completely changed my mind. I think it's a powerful landscape, one of the most powerful in the game. So we'll see. Yeah, absolutely. The brown could have been just as good for landscape, probably better. Right, so that seems a logical place to put a trading post. We have the big worker income from the fire cult here. So I'm not too worried about our worker. I'm much more worried about trading posts we'll have on. That's one of the reasons I was hesitating to dig the brown rather than here. Maybe I should have, so I can build a third trading post here. But the reason why I didn't do it is I was afraid that Swarmling might be tempted to do it just to kind of destroy my 3-town strategy. So prefer to not leave that too long on the map. Sanctuary. Oh well. Yeah. So you went 3 air. Winning the air cult in front of the Swarmlings. I suppose it was hard to stop or anyway in this plan. As we've seen, the cult have been really competitive. Not a surprise. Right. What do we go for here? There's something to be said just to pass here. We convert priest and worker. We get this bonus, which will worth something, at least. And maybe we get the coins. Or the double spade. Yeah, it's probably good. So we'll do 4 power from our structures and 3 power from there, meaning that now we're just okay. Maybe you want to convert a bit more just in case. So 4 and 3, yeah, that seems good. All right. So we got a point bonus finally. We had trouble in this game to do that. Yeah, exactly. Cult tunneling for dwarves is really, really powerful, I think. Eventually tried. As I said, I didn't play much landscape and didn't play much dwarf landscape, but it seems to be... I used to think it was mainly a connecting tool, but the potentiality of using spade to tunnel... so the dwarf landscape, you can use spade to tunnel with your reward from cults, and I think that has fantastic potential. And yeah, mermaid, yeah, as Danny points out, it's a lot of... it adds a lot of flexibility. One way we haven't used it yet, and I've been thinking about that, is as way to use dwelling rush. So this landscape is like a structure that counts. The way it works for the mermaid is that you can put the landscape on a river tile, and it can be used for town, but can be used also as the first structure for your shipping. And I think there is interesting potential to use it for dwelling rush. I mean, that's something I've meant to try one day. Yeah, so I think there is some unexploited possibility with landscape, and with them on for Arena this season, it will be interesting to see what people will discover and what people will do with them. Alright. So next round, what do we want to do? We want to do 3 dwellings at the very least. One trading post and 1 temple. So that will cost us the minimum 7 worker and 14 coins. Definitely decline that, sorry, I wasn't looking. And if we look at our income, we'll have... Oh, we also need to advance shipping, right? At least once, otherwise we are not connected and we kind of waste our passing bonus. So that's 4 more coin and 1 priest. In terms of income, we still have 3 worker from the fire cult plus 6 worker here, and we have 1 worker remaining. So that's 10 worker. We're very good on worker, no worries there. In terms of coins, though, probably a bit short. 12. We do have 12 coins, so we have 6 coin missing. But we have 3 worker who can convert into coins. That's only then 3 coins missing. Probably we can take something like the coin town. There's 2 left. We have 2 towns to pick up, so I'm really not worried that we can build 3 towns and at least 3 worker advance shipping a very big round for last round. I think we have a good game. So I will be first. First action will be the double spade. Take these 2 hexes, build here. Nothing they can do about that. No one can reach that hex, I think. So no worries about this one either. I don't think that Oren will build another town, so he should not have any use at all for 2 fires, so no rush to take that. Yeah, pretty much set here. Ideally, I hope to advance shipping once more and have at least another dwelling built than what I need for the towns. But we'll see. That might not be... well, I think that it will be possible. Yeah, good observation. Soren hasn't burning power and is making 3 power income. I know I've played Eng games where I will almost not burn in power, but in these cases it will be often because I didn't burn early on. It just wasn't interesting to do it, and then you get so much power that you can use it almost all. Swarming sometimes might be in this situation. I haven't personally, but I could see them. Usually you will want to build power, to burn power. The thing is, you don't lose anything by burning power. You're just kind of speeding up the power action that you're doing, but in the future your power just cycle up faster, so you're not burning it, you're not losing anything from burning. So if you can get any advantage from burning, you should do it. Of course, you have to be careful before going lower than 6 power, because then you start losing the possibility of doing certain action. But up to 6 power, up to 7, because sometimes you want to keep some flexibility, you'll want to burn power almost as soon as you can. The only limitation to this rule is that the more you build power, the less flexibility you have for passing, because if you have more power, you can do more leeching. It might be better to keep more power token for that purpose, but that's kind of a minor point, really. Right. Soon the archer. Score very close here. We don't have much on the calls as we thought it will go, but we have, I think, good chance to win that work. And that's enough. I mean, you should focus usually on one of those, either on network or cult. Here with these 3 cult-oriented faction, it was much more logical for Nomad to rather go for network. Only threat might be swarmlings. I mean, swarmling is probably the most snowball faction in the game, and when they are set like this for the last round, they might build a lot. Especially here, you can see. Will not be surprised that they ends up building at least 3 structures. At least 4 structures, which will get them to 3. You'll beat that. I will not be surprised if they get down to 2, even. Yeah. Okay. So swirling with the coin is probably one to advance is digging, I suppose. That's probably his plan. Right. I indulged my natural anxiety here. I mean, there was really no rush to build this dwelling, but it kind of felt safer. I think, for me at least, that's a topic I come back often to. Is Terra Mystica is kind of, to get good at this game, you have to learn to manage your anxiety. It helped me a lot with that because as I said, you need to make choice and you need to leave some things. You need to accept that you won't do everything, and also you need to trust others to make the best decision. You don't have to you should not like play like you're afraid of ghost, and the more you're able to manage this anxiety, the better you will do. Well, I expect Swarmling will build another town in either way here. It doesn't really need the bridge to do it. He's advancing his digging, and then he'll be good. Right. I think it's a good time now to go for Fire 2. Yeah, bridge is gone. That's a good point. But as I said, I don't think it's really matter for Jolie. Jolie is kind of new player. I mean, when I say new player, I think that he started pretty much at the beginning of last season to play more seriously Terra Mystica. He improved really fast. I think that he went really fast among the strongest player around. I know that he has a background on Clans of Caledonia, which kind of calls to similar ability. He's a very good Clans of Caledonia player, so it's not surprising that he succeeds well here too. But reason why I was saying that is that I don't know how much practice he got with Landscape, because I'm not sure he was playing much before Arena, and Arena Season 1 was without Landscape. To me, he's played a very correct swarming game. I mean, that's not a problem, but the swarming landscape won't be exploited. So it could have been not there, it won't make any difference. Which again, maybe was just intentional. It thought that didn't need it in this game. Maybe it could also be that he's not used to things swarming in that way. But yeah, it's always the experience on the site. It's good to see new player coming, and especially like when you see some people who get really good real fast. I think I will be curious to see my record against Jolie. I think he might have the advantage actually. You've beaten me at least a couple of times picking Chaos Magician. I often hesitate a lot before picking Chaos Magician, and he exploited that well in our last meetings. Alright. First, we want the coins. And now, we have what? One trading post to do. That's clear. I'll definitely like to do 2 trading posts, 2 dueling, and at least 1 advanced shipping. So 2 worker. That's a lot of coins. 14 coins and 6 worker, 14 coins. And we have 10 coins once power is converted. Now the coins are gone. So one of our priests will be used as a worker for sure. We might use 1 or 2 to advance shipping, depending how we do. Kind of tempted to just send priests on the track. Maybe this was a mistake. Yeah, I think I should not have done that. Whoa. All right. So I decided to go with the power. I kind of when I sent the priest there, I thought that with the coin town, with the cult town, I will be able to have just enough. But it ended up that I was missing two power. I was missing 1 point. Could have waited for Leech, but it's not the surest thing. So I prefer to go with 2 less points. Well, maybe a bit more than 2. But with the sure income of the power from the power town. Question now though is, and that's why it was a mistake to send a priest in water. Right now, I was kind of counting twice the same priest. If I want to advance shipping twice to make the most of the passing bonus, I need 2 priests, and if I want to build a trading post and 2 dwelling, I need 4 workers, so I need to transfer priest into a worker. So I might not be able to have the chance to advance on shipping track. In case you're wondering, I still have the opportunity to try to convert power here. We're just waiting for a leech on Aran. I'm not sure. Yeah, I decided not to take it. This was a big leech for so late. Of course he needs coins, so maybe that's why he was tempted to. But yeah. So I think overall we'll have, if we can get, I think we should be able to get to 15 structures. And that will mean that we have more or less reached our objective in this game. Those were to do well on network. We should at least get die. To do 3 towns, which we did. To play well the track, I think we did play well the track here. We will see something I didn't do in the first streams that I want to do now. At the end we can look at the point distribution. I think it's interesting. There's interesting information there. So yeah, I think we did play the track okay. Oh, that's interesting. So 9. Yeah, I think I reached that. Yeah, so, and we knew we will not do well in the call track, but we kind of hang out there, meaning that we'll get crumbs on the call track, and that's fine. I mean, if we can get 5 or 6 points, it's okay. As you see, probably Swarmling won't get much more. So what does Julie do there? Just leech him. Okay. We'll do some point by passing. About 9 points. We still have 7 points to score, so that's 16, meaning we'll do 117 points, which is pretty good. We played a lot with favor points. I will expect it to be enough for the win, but we'll see. So, I clearly made a mistake. Should not have leech here. That's pointless. If I lose by 1 point, let's remember that leech. Should not have taken it. What does he go for here? He might go for the 8 point down. The 8 point or the 11, I expect. Probably he'll use still needs to advance his shipping to connect. Well, maybe we'll just take this hex. Yeah, that's probably what he does. I'm pretty sure I can build his landscape in one dwelling. Can he build another dwelling? That's certain. Oh, he went with the power cam. So maybe he's planning on advancing shipping then. I don't know. Could like just put his landscape here, build here. And then he probably has yeah, I'm not sure he has the last dwelling then. Alright. Not much we can do about it anyway. Except that we would like not to give him power, but we have no choice. He's everywhere. So here I will have the opportunity to advance shipping for 7 points. If I think that Swarmlings won't challenge me for network, but I think that he will challenge me for network, and where it's much better to build this dwelling and have a little security, making sure that we don't lose 3 points to Swarmlings if he ties us or find a way to beat us, which I will be very surprised. But unfortunately we cannot use all our resources optimally. We have to build this dwelling. Now he should put his landscape down. Which does. Yeah. Being a little optimistic, I was wondering, like, if I take it, could I advance shipping? But yeah, it doesn't work. So yeah, thanks to the leech that I've given him, now Swarmling has enough to tie me on network. I think that I still... I think that I still should be alright. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, can I lose all my hexes? But Swarming doesn't have enough shipping to reach here, so I'm good. Build. So Swarm just has enough for building 2 dwellings. He doesn't have Earth 1, so that will be just 4 points for him. Meaning that... And he doesn't have a passing bonus, meaning that we'll tie on network, do similar on cults, and I'll have more in-game points, so that should be alright. As predicted, so you see he can convert his 2 priests and 3 power into 1 worker for the dig, into 3 worker I mean, and 3 power to 3 coin, giving him his last dwelling. Any other challenge? I don't think so. I think Oran Magician did a good job splitting up the cult, meaning that since they are behind in network, they're not too much threat. If one of them had managed to swipe the cults, maybe it will be a threat, but just like this, we're okay. I think we got this. My tea has gone cold. I haven't touched it the whole game. Was too focused. Happens often. So yeah, a bit of a disappointing game landscape-wise. We've seen very well like the Oran landscape performing. Give Oran 10 points. It's a scoring landscape. There's different type of landscape, more like economical one that gives you coins or digs, such as like fakirs, nomads give coins. Halflings give easier digs. To some extent, we could say that the dwarf do it, and some other landscape which are more about making town easier, which is more like swarmling, mermaids, engineer, as this kind of landscape. Then this one, it didn't have big weight on the score. So most landscape, apart from giants and Oran, are mainly scoring landscape, are mainly economical landscape, so landscape that gives you advantage. One thing on the economy, some way or another, one thing I'm a little afraid about this is whether it will be less like significant to take, say, an economic favor in a landscape game, because landscape give you some boost economically anyway, so maybe you want to be more focused on converting your resource into points and therefore going more for economical favor. So yeah, got the win. Relatively comfortable at 15 points. Yeah, Jelly took care too. I'm not sure why he says it's a mistake now. I'm not sure if you had... Well, it could have maybe gone fire too straight up. One thing I wanted to show you here. Yeah, hard to beat Oran on calls. I always find it interesting to see how faction managed to score. If we look at like scoring tiles, so Drac, Nomads, that's me, and that's Swarmlings. You have Chaos Magician and Oran here. We can see that the first 2 players played the track a lot better than the two last. However, in terms of favor, it's Oren and Nomads, but we succeeded to combine this to both do a lot of scoring through the track, and 49 true favor is a lot. It's when you get near 50 in favor points, it's you had a really big favor points game. I almost did nothing in bonus, only 6 points at the end. It seems probably I made some mistake passing. I think the round 4, which was Temple round, I really should have passed for the Stronghold bonus and go probably for the Stronghold then, which would have been 8 points, 8 more points in bonus. I think going for the Priest was a bit too economical focus. Points through town, I mean, we did 3 towns, and one of them was a priest town, so it was pretty good in that regard. Swarmling did 3 towns too, but ended up only scoring like 14 points. I mean, it's a big difference. It's 6 points is often what you get out of a town, so it's almost like you got a town less. Area was split, cults. You see, if we compare endgame point, we add them, we see that at 20 in the end, the idea of focusing on network was not a bad idea. We didn't do that much last point than Chaos and Oran really focus on the call track. So yeah, not big scores. It was an interesting game. I kind of lucky to ends up building this fort town. The fact that Oren took so much time to advance shipping. Did he in the end? Yeah, I did. But probably without this town, not clear that even win. Well, alright. So that will be it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching the stream. Again, I'll be back on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. That's 1 p.m. GMT if you want to catch it. Hope to see you there. Alright, bye.